The suitcase was heavier than it should have been. When she gripped the handle, her knuckles turned white, and she almost stumbled backward. That single moment, the flicker of surprise breaking through her perfectly practiced composure made every hour I'd spent preparing for this weekend worth it. "Oh wow, did you pack rocks in here?" she joked, forcing a laugh. Her eyes flicked toward me, searching for a reaction. I shrugged, keeping my face unreadable. "You got everything you need in there?" I asked, my voice deliberately flat. "It's a special trip after all." She paused, then offered a smile, one of those fake, rehearsed smiles she'd been wearing for months. "You're so thoughtful," she said, leaning in to kiss my cheek. Her lips were cold, distant. I watched her wheel the suitcase out the front door, its small wheels squeaking under the weight. Only when her car disappeared down the street did I finally exhale. Showtime. Her name was Amanda. We'd been married 8 years, together for 10. For most of that time, I would have called us happy, comfortable. We had our routines inside. Jokes, shared dreams, or at least I thought we did. That illusion shattered 3 months ago when I saw the first message. She left her phone on the kitchen counter while she went upstairs to shower. I hadn't been snooping, the screen lit. Up on its own, my eyes betrayed me. "Can't wait to see you this weekend. Miss you like crazy. Brent." Brent. I didn't know a Brent. We didn't have friends named Brent. There was no Brent at her office, or at least not one she'd ever mentioned. My stomach dropped. But I didn't confront her. Not yet. I'd lived long enough to know that diving in blind only leads to disaster. I needed evidence. Proof she couldn't deny. So I waited, and I worked. In the weeks that followed, I became the actor in a play she didn't know she was starring in. While she carried on thinking I was oblivious, I peeled back the layers of lies one by one. I installed a keylogger on her laptop. I tracked their emails, their late-night chats. I followed her just once when she said she had to work. Late, upscale hotel downtown. Predictable. I even planted a GPS tracker in her car. Every excuse, every "I love you," she whispered before slipping out the door, became another knife to the gut. But still I said nothing. She thought she had control, that I was clueless. She didn't realize she was a puppet, not the puppeteer, and I was cutting her strings one thread at a time. When she announced a weekend trip with her girlfriends, I almost laughed. The lies were so obvious now. Friends were suddenly busy. Vague plans changed to isolate. A faint cologne I found on her blouse last time, definitely not mine.
8.
"You deserve some time to unwind," I told her. "I've got some projects around the house to keep me busy." She beamed. The best. The audacity. She packed her best outfits, ones I knew weren't for me. Meanwhile, I packed my own suitcase, not with clothes. Mine was filled with printed screenshots, emails, receipts, evidence, the kind that ends lives as people know them. Brent lived in a luxury condo across the city. I'd scouted the building more times than I could count. He was exactly who you'd expect. Late 30s, expensive watch, polished smile. A high-level executive who probably never gave a second thought to the husband of the woman he was sleeping with. I waited down the street. Amanda's car was already there, crooked in a rush to get inside. I gave it another hour, let them get comfortable. Then I walked up and knocked. Firm, steady, just like I had practiced. The door opened. Brent stood there, his smile faded the instant he saw me. "Can I help you?" he asked, cautious. "Oh, I think you can," I said, stepping forward. He twitched, debating whether to shut the door. I didn't give him the chance. My shoulder hit hard and I was in. "Hey, you can't shut up, Brent," I said, my voice sharp. "You and I need to talk." Amanda appeared in the hallway, her face drained of all color. She clutched her robe tighter like it could protect her. "Mark, what are you doing here?" I didn't look at her. I kept my eyes on him. "You know who I am, right?" I asked. He swallowed. "I think you should leave." I laughed, cold and hollow. "Oh, I'll leave. But not before we've had our little chat." I reached into my bag and pulled out a stack of printed photos, screenshots, emails, receipts. I tossed them onto the coffee table, scattered like shrapnel. His eyes darted between the pages, then back to Amanda, then to me. "You thought you were clever," I said, my voice rising. "Snaking around, thinking you wouldn't get caught." "Mark, please." Amanda's voice trembled. "Can we talk about this privately?" "Privately?" I turned to her, rage boiling over. "Now you want privacy?" "You didn't seem to care about that when you were screwing him." She flinched. Tears welled in her eyes. "I didn't care." "Don't get to cry, Amanda," I said. "You made your choices. Now, you live with them." Brent looked like he wanted to disappear. "How does it feel, Brent?" I asked. "Knowing your little game is over." "Look, man," he stammered. "I didn't mean for any of this to save it," I snapped. "I'm not interested in your excuses, but your wife might be." His face went pale. "What?" "Oh yeah," I said. "I found her. Lovely woman. I'm sure she'll appreciate knowing who she married." "Mark, please," Amanda whispered, desperate. "Don't do this." I turned to her. My voice was quiet but deadly. Should have thought about that before. I grabbed my bag and headed for the door. Just before leaving, I turned back to Brent one last time. "If you ever come near my wife again, I'll make sure everyone you work with knows exactly what kind of man you are." Then I walked out, leaving behind silence thick enough to drown in. The fallout was swift and brutal. Mailed everything to Brent's wife the next day, along with a short note. "Sorry for the pain. You deserve the truth." She filed for divorce. Within a week, word spread at Brent's company. He was quietly asked to resign. Amanda tried to apologize, begged, tried to explain. I didn't care. The divorce papers were already signed. She left with nothing but the clothes she could carry. It wasn't easy, none of it was. But as I stood in the silence of my now empty house, the weight of betrayal finally gone, I realized something. I had lost a wife. But I gained something far more valuable. Freedom. And the satisfaction of knowing justice had been served.